You're recording.
So, Jer,
Yeah, what's up?
so, um, so I just had a super panic attack. We just took a little break,
Yeah, literally, like you were
like
gone for 4 minutes.
4 minutes tops. Just use the bathroom, and so yeah, and it just hit like a wallop. And it's interesting because the timeline of this, folks, is that prior to recording, we were talking about a pretty serious subject that I'm very anxious about. But, here I am talking to my best friend, and I can talk things out, and I can feel like I have more control of the situation and a better understanding of how to move forward and all this thing. So, this is a thing you do with your friend to feel better. And then we went directly into it because I wanted to, because I thought it would elevate my mood a little bit, into the thing. I don't know where it'll be posted, of us talking about me making a monster arm for our friend John Hastings. And so I recognized what it was, and I wanted to share it. So what it is that I feel this like, and then I'm like, okay, got to push this up. And it was, if you watch that conversation, I was having fun. It was high, it was good. It was high, and then we're like, okay, we're done with that conversation. Let's take a break real quick. Come back. I walk out of the room, and that high just fucking crashed. That's how it feels. That because I felt bad, I stand up and I push this membrane that's holding me down, and it feels good because you're pushing the membrane off of you, but it's hard to keep aloft, man. And wow.
Oof.
It's still happening, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, dude.
As it turns out. But I wanted to be honest on this channel of ours, so there's that.
Yeah. So, do you have a process like right now? We're about to start. We're looking at starting another recording. Maybe we'll take another break. I'm not sure, but what's your kind of like personal process of going forward? Because you have things you need to do.
It feels like pushing through, right? Is sort of the thing. It's just like
a lot of,
well, there's an adage,
like a lot of effort there.
Yeah, there's an adage that is very apt, and it's very apt. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Now, there are some fears I can't push through, and that's the same with all of us. I'm not going to go in a cage with a lion, even if they tell me it's safe. I'm not going to do it. That's understandable, right? I mean, that's what's so insidious about this panic disorder, is that it's your body doing what it's supposed to do. It's just at the wrong time with wrong cues,
Right.
Because my body just reacted as though I went into a cage with a lion.
Right.
So it's feel the fear and do it anyway. So also creating comfort zones. So many times, even with like strangers that I happen to be, working with, like, and oddly enough, I've formed friendship bonds because of this honesty that I have. A good, for instance, is my friend Dustin Brown. He works for San Leandro High School's theater. And I remember early on knowing him, working on projects there, that I started to have a panic attack. And he just happened to be next to me, and I go, hey, just want to let you know I'm having a panic attack right now, and it's helpful that someone else knows. Now, I don't know why, Jerry. Somehow it makes me feel safer if someone else knows. And that's kind of like what I was going to come back to do anyway. So like, if we weren't recording at all, I would have said almost the exact same thing, like, whoa, Jerry, that was really intense, and here's the reasons why, and so forth. But
right.
This is a channel about us, so Yeah, it's just pushing forward. You can actually, if you look very closely in some of the videos, you can see where I start to become more internal.
Right.
Like it's very obvious when I'm out there,
Right.
right? And there are some times where you can see me start to turn inwards, but I'm still trying to do something. And there's a subtle change. I notice it because I'm experiencing it.
Right.
And it has this, actually, Jerry, I don't know if you've ever had a panic attack or fight or flight reaction where
Yeah.
it became unreal. Things looked unreal.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's what sometimes happens when we're recording this. But I just go, all right, well, we're here.
Yeah, here we are.
And you say little things to yourself like, come on. This is my internal dialogue.
Uh-huh.
Come on, man. You're talking about superheroes on TV. Just relax. You're okay.
Right.
You're going to be okay.
Right.
And normally I could do that, but the situation that we were talking about is very serious to me and could be life-changing.
Right.
So that was my reaction. It was really strange, man. I don't even know if you could hear, because I'm not that far away in the bathroom, but I get this really big cough reaction.
I've seen it in the past. I was focused on
right.
Script writing over here.
To me that it was just like literally right around the corner. And it was pretty loud. But oh my God. And then, folks, if you're suffering through panic attacks or anxiety disorders, panic attacks are temporary by their very nature. Just remember that they're temporary by their very nature. They can't last. The body does not maintain it for a long period of time. It can't. That's not how the chemicals work. You get flooded with certain chemicals so that you have a reaction. Just get through it. Later on, later it might be, maybe it'll be interesting if we talk more about this when it's not happening to me, about certain coping mechanisms. But two things I can tell you right away. Remember that three things. Remember that it's temporary. Sip water. Eat chocolate. There you go.
I did not expect to eat chocolate to be on the end.
I know, that's why that's why I made it three things so that it was funnier.
Yeah. Rule of threes, my man. The rule of threes. Well, thanks. I mean, I think it's really, really important that you kind of give people that and give me that. I mean, because we have these conversations, but you're not always as forthcoming about it because you're concerned about changing the tone of the conversation or things like that. So really, thanks for sharing that with all of us and for everyone listening. I think this will put this up as a separate thing, just so there's like kind of a context in terms of order of how things are done. But I think it's really helpful for other people to see and hear this. So
yeah, because it's been helpful for me in the past when I've seen someone else talk about their problems. I mean, Jenny Lawson is a demigod. Everyone just go look her up and buy her books. Come on, just do it. But I just wanted to also say that there's also a way I talk to Jerry that's different than me talking to other people because he has a fascination for things like I do. So I know he's appreciative because I'm his friend and I'm talking about things to him, which feels good when someone opens up to you, and then also that it informs him on how to better be a friend. I know that's what he does, and it's also fascinating for him to hear someone else's point of view on something that he doesn't experience. It's
it's looking into someone else's world. It's helpful to understand what you don't understand, and there are certain things that I know I don't understand because I don't have the experience with them. And we have we have these conversations where you'll even say, it's like, I know you don't get what I'm saying.
Mhm.
You know, you know, and
Mhm.
and I'll say, yeah, I don't, because it's it's not part of my experience. And a lot of problem with people is that they assume their experience is enough to cover everyone else's experience, and it's like, and it's
Yeah.
not. You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
it's
and people who are
I mean, I hit the chemical. I kind of hit a chemical lottery. You know,
you've mentioned this before.
my chemicals are like they're all like the norm, and they're like they fit within the realm that allows me to stay functional in society. Not necessarily that like I have like great brain chemistry, but I have the type of brain chemistry that allows me to fit within
Mhm.
within the normal parameters of society.
Mhm.
That's like the definition of being a normie.
A normie. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
But that's not due to any type of like you know
But
like accomplishment of myself or
he's a
some.
normie ally, folks.
But it's not due. Yeah, exactly. It's not like due to some like personal achievement or anything like that. I got
uh,
lucky. you
mhm.
know I hit the lottery on that I'm and the issues that have come up in my life are within the scope of the chemistry that I have.
Mhm.
you know you can have all the all the chemistry, all the things that you want, and then something comes in that's just not, it doesn't fit in
Mhm.
with that, and then you can't deal with it.
Mhm.
And luckily for me, most of the things that have come into my life are within the realm of my like both my learned skill set and my chemical tolerance.
Right. Yeah.
uh,
And then speaking of chemicals, like um it was remarkable. I didn't even explain this before. So um going through this difficult thing that I'm going through, I actually had to contact my psychiatrist and go, dude, I'm in trouble. This is something I can't deal with. Um and I'm scared for myself. I don't know if I made it really official to you, but I essentially instigated my safety plan, which was like me telling you I'm not okay, right?
right.
That sort of thing. And then my doctor helped me, and then he also with some temporary measures, which you can't take for very long. Um, but then one of my normal medications was upped again, and part of it is actually um, a placebo effect. Even though uh, because I've been on this medication, so I know that it works. I know how it feels in my body or how it makes things different. But just the increase creates a placebo effect, right?
Mhm.
So I'm waiting for that to play out. But for some reason, during this whole thing, dude, the temporary measures, which by the way, everybody is benzodiazepines, I didn't have to use them as much as I thought.
Mhm.
And I think it's because of my other medications. And the only reason I'm saying this is because, folks, if you are out there suffering of any sort of brain chemistry disorder, I've tried almost everything out there, and I've been frustrated a lot. But you got to keep going. It's a big ship, and you got to steer it slowly. You can't just be jumping on and off all these things, because these are things. This is an aspirin.
Right.
This
Right.
takes like 6 weeks to get into your system correctly,
Right.
and it can be a bitch when that happens. But hopefully, or I mean, it seems to be working out a little bit better because of that increase. So I'm
Good.
hopeful because of that.
Good.
Even though my
Good.
eye twitch has gotten worse. I don't know why, but it really does. My eye does this little. That's what it sounds like in my head, folks. Because it's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
close to my ear canal.
You're right.
Not
Right. Right.
really.
Yeah.
Not really. It
Just
doesn't
there's
sound like it.
tendons. There's a whole thing going there. Yeah.
My ear goes. Boy, wouldn't that be awful?
Hilarious though.
Yeah. Thank God there are no muscles inside of there, man.
Yeah, pretty funny.
All right. So that's
All right.
it.
No, thanks for
I
that.
guess this will be a separate thing, so it actually does play in context.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
thank you for listening, Jerry. Thank you for
And
listening,
oh,
folks. I
sure.
hope it's helpful to be open and honest about this. I would appreciate comments. And I'm okay with people saying, "Yeah, not on this channel, man."
I'm not.
I mean, That's okay. All I'm saying is that that's okay to say if
They
that's
can
your
say
opinion.
it, but we're going to talk about what we're
We're
going to talk
probably going
about.
to talk
That's the
about
way
it
it goes.
anyway, but
But also just in terms of context, so people understand, because they are going to see things in reverse, almost reverse order. They're going to hear and listen to this
yeah.
almost in reverse order. So we're having a kind of a standard, just like catch up conversation, which led to a small segment that you're probably going to see on Monday. You're going to see this. This one's going to go out on Sunday. We're recording this on the podcast is going to go out on Sunday, right?
Today.
And so then we did a little small segment that you will have seen yesterday, Monday, and this segment is probably going to go out on Tuesday, just so it's in order in terms of context. And so understand that after this, a panic attack that he's having, we are then going to record the podcast,
the actual podcast about us talking about nerdy shit,
about nerdy stuff. And so just as a, not to say, hey, let's get more views, but maybe think about looking at these in order, like what we recorded on Monday, we showed on Monday, and then this here, and then we go back and take a look at the podcast and see how that feels in the context of knowing what you just heard here.
That I just had a panic attack and I had to take medication to make it stop.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
All righty. So
here we go, folks.
Here we go
into the actual. There's also another coping mechanism that we have, folks, and it's my nickname, Beano. It ain't easy being Beano. That's it. It's funny. I don't know why it's funny, but it's funny that I suffer sometimes. I don't know why, but it's a coping mechanism. It's just really another thing. Ah, dude, I know
you laugh at it or you cry.
In the background,
you laugh at it or you cry.
Yeah, that in the background you say to Robin, "Bean this and this," and she goes, "Ah, Christ, again," that sort of thing. So, and that's fine. It's funny. Gotta go with the funny. God, I wish did we record the dark humor thing we did the other? You had a thought about death, and it was not.
Oh right, no, I don't think we were recording that.
Because it was hella dark, man. But it's funny. Okay. Right. Anyways, you know me. I could keep going. So yeah, that's this.
Later.